Hi, I'm Jay and welcome back to my channel. I was supposed to film my color and share today, the long promised one with the Black Widows, but the cats have decided to be on my lap, both of them, and that wouldn't be so bad if they didn't decide that they really needed my left arm as a pillow. So I'm a bit handicapped, but I still wanted to say hello until I can free myself, and we'll have a color and chat in a second, hopefully, where I can start continuing on this and talk about the Black Widow pencils a bit that I got. Okay. I got my hand back, as you can see, so yay, we can start doing the color and chat. There are the pencils. I think I need to put them here. Oh, squash this. I want to do this like I did the Arteza color and chat. I'll just, continue color this page and talk about whatever comes to my mind, and about how I like the pencils. I mean, I don't feel that I'm qualified enough to review anything, so I just talk about what I think. As you can see, I've already started this page just so that I could get a feel for the pencils, and also so that you wouldn't have to look at a blank page for the whole of the color and chat. This is all done with the Black Widow set that I have. Oop. As you know, I only have this one that I got to test. And because this is the last page of the book, so we're doing something in Rita Berman's Mein Frühlingsspaziergang. And this is always, all of the pictures are double-sided, right? But this is actually the last page of the book, so I could put on an alcohol marker base on the flowers and the leaves, which is what I did. So everything has alcohol marker base below, as you can see here. And because I really like doing that, because it makes coloring a bit quicker and a bit easier. And what I can already say is that the Arteza, just as the Black Widow is just as the Arteza. I can't layer with them as much as I'm used to, so I'm not able to completely fill all the whites with them before the paper can't take any more color. But if you put some alcohol marker base on, then of course the white is already gone. And I really like already what I've done with the flowers here. So let's just continue on with those. Let me see which I used. I think it was this one. Oh, and I also cheated a bit and used the Prismacolor white, because this set obviously has no white. So this one, and nope, the 53. Okay. Let's just start down here, and I'll just do this flower exactly as I did the other one, just dark in the middle and then getting lighter. This is the first time in quite a while that I'm able to do a video again, because as you might know, I can only record videos 2 times a week when I have the apartment for myself. I mean, my partner would, of course, never interfere, and he would, he's supporting me, recording videos, but I'd rather, just be undisturbed when doing this. So, and 2 times a week he usually is out in the evening, so I have the apartment to myself and the kiddies, and I can record. And then the other days I however I can find the time, I edit and upload the videos. But this is the first time since quite a while that I'm having the apartment to myself again. And before I fell ill, he was actually on vacation, so for more than a whole week I could record videos, and I did so many videos. And then immediately after I fell ill and couldn't edit all those videos and upload them. So I only am getting to that backlog basically now. And I think I've mostly edited and uploaded most of those videos I did. And so please don't be confused if in videos that you watch now from me that I am in different stages of being ill, having a sniffle or a cough, and then being fine again. And it's just because I recorded those videos over the course of, I think, 1.5 weeks before I fell really ill. And then only now got to edit them. I think that will look pretty. I'm giving it a bit of shadow where the petal goes the other side. And now I'm back at work, since I was ill, and I'm so busy, because of course, I have to catch up with the work, and I haven't even had time to properly watch videos. I try and keep up to date with the shorter ones, but the longer ones really hard to catch for me at the moment. So actually, when I'm done recording this color and chat, I'll go and continue coloring my other pictures. I have started several, and just watch some of your videos that I have missed. Really miss you guys already, because I feel like I've seen so little and been here so little, even though that's not how it is, of course. And this month I've really felt inspired by so many color alongs, and usually I try and pick one to follow, just because I think it's such a good idea to get some inspiration for what to color next, and also to motivate myself a bit to really get along, give me a bit of, I wouldn't say pressure because that sounds negative, but a little goal to achieve in a month. And this month there are actually several I wanted to enter, like there's one with bunnies for Passionista Colorista, and Pickle has one with mermaids, and I'm really in such a mermaid craze at the moment, so I had to enter that one. And then there's also a Halloween in March one by Sammy, I think, and I don't care much for Halloween pictures, so this coming October you won't see me coloring all those Halloween pictures, just because I don't feel for the event. But then I saw this the most cute Halloween picture ever, and I just had to decide to color it. So that's also something I want to color. And then my uncle has a big birthday coming up, and I can't be there to celebrate, but I want to send him a card. And as you know, I have these books. It's called the Coloring Book of Cards and Envelopes, I think. And the book has like little cards and envelopes ready-made. You just need to color it. And I think, you know, an event like that, a big birthday like that, really is a good opportunity to make a card. Because usually I only reserve this for very special circumstances, because it just takes so much work. But you know, if that isn't a special circumstance, then what is? So I have to really get on that. The birthday is at the end of March. It's actually not that further away anymore, because suddenly, you know, March is half over. So yeah, I think I have to do a lot of coloring this weekend. I was a bit, I mean, usually when I'm sick enough that I can't go to work, but then I'm usually not sick enough to not color, you know? You can still at least, you know, be in bed and color a bit, and I don't know, while you watch some TV or something. But this time the most I could do was just watch YouTube videos, which I did, but I couldn't color myself. I was just too sick. So I haven't done much coloring yet this month because of that. Oh, look at that, it's coming along nicely. Just with 2 shades. Well, and the white. And I think that's also because it has this base of marker. Are there any color alongs you're entering this month? Or what do you think about them? Do you care for them? Do you follow those? For a long time I didn't, because I didn't quite understand how they worked. But now I really, as I said, I think it's really such a good idea to one, just, you know, interact with the community, and to also to you know, get some inspiration for what to color next. I mean, at some point you have so many pictures to choose from that you need some guidance. Well, what do you think? I think this looks rather fine. I want to make a pretty pinkish picture. So those big flowers, these two are all supposed to be pink, this kind of color, and then just have a couple of accents in like purple and blue. And I still don't know what to do with the heart. I started this around Valentine's Day, I think. That's why I was inspired to do it. I don't know whether I should just leave it background colored or colored in with red. Oh, sorry. Let me just move this a bit. That's better. I really wanted to try out the Black Widow pencils because they just came out with their skin color set, and I really want to have a dedicated set for skin colors. I mean, of course I have all kinds of pencils in the fitting shades, but I think it's just nice to have one small set that you can just pull out for that occasion. And so I wanted to try and test the Black Widows, whether I like them, but I don't know whether I like them enough to get their skin tone set, or rather the two skin tone sets they have. They have two, one for light and one for dark skin. So I haven't decided yet. I actually went and started a picture with the teasers, just because it's a smaller color selection, and I found it easier to just pick a couple of shades from there to color a picture than to sit over the, I don't know, 100 and how much is it, 50 Prismacolor or whatever, and agonize over which color shade was the exact right one. Sometimes it's just nicer to have a very small color selection and just go with that. But that was also that's one of the pictures for the color along, and it isn't one that I feel it needs to be perfect. So I could just color as I felt it should be. I hope I'll get it finished soonish, so I can at least post it on the Instagram so that you can see. The weather here for a couple of days was really, really nice. Like, I think it went up to 20 degrees, and like everybody was in the park, and all kinds of like shops, and also the animal park. Everything just opened sooner because it was so warm, way warmer than expected. And that was exactly the time when I fell ill and had to lay in bed and just look at the bright blue sky from inside. But unfortunately that only lasted a couple of days and a weekend, I think, and it's already gone again. It's very, very stormy now, like spring storms, and it's not winter cold, but it's still not really warm. I still have my winter coat out, so I really hope for warmer weather soon. I mean, for mid-March I think it could slowly come, right? Reminds me that I need to change the tires on my car. Don't think it'll snow again. And so yeah, how is the weather where you are? Is it still snowing? I think I saw on Facebook that someone posted a picture. I think in the US, in parts it's still snowing. Well, then I'd rather take our storms than snow. I've really had enough of winter. I'm really not a winter type anyway. I do prefer the medium seasons, spring and autumn. Those are my favorite seasons. I really like it when in spring it gets slowly warm and everything just wakes up, and then in autumn everything just slowly just relaxes and settles down and goes to sleep. Winter is too cold for me, and summer is too hot, too bright, and winter is too dark. So I'm a very, very medium type of girl. So I'm very happy that spring is here. think I want these sides a bit darker. What could we take for that? Maybe mix in a bit of blue. That'll be an experiment. Yeah, I think that works. Just a smidge. Like so. And if I now go over it with purple, then it shouldn't be too blue, just a bit to darken it down. I can't quite decide how I feel the Artisas and the Black Widows are different. I know that they're different in feel, but I cannot put my finger on it. They're both very vibrant. And I think the Artisa are softer, at least I feel that. But they both saturate the paper quickly. That this yellow is so bright, I don't know whether you can see, is mostly because of the marker that is underneath. And because spring was here, I decided that we would switch off the heating. Because, you know, we don't need heating in spring, right? But that just means that it's perpetually cold in here. And then every day I think, oh man, I should switch the heating back on. And then the next thought is like, no, it'll be warmer tomorrow. So I don't. And then it just, you know, the cycle just continues every day. And it's not like it's cold, you know, I just have, you know, to use warm blankets and drink lots of tea. So things that I really like anyway, but I have put the chair. Oh, no. Nicht streiten. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I put the chair next to me again, where the cats like to sit. And nicht. And now they just started biting each other. Yeah. Okay, we got the cat situation sorted again. The little one is on my lap again, and my tortoise colored one sits on the chair. Sometimes you really wonder what goes on in the mind of a cat, because they do love each other. And the tortoise colored one, she loves to cuddle and be really close with her friend, and then she sometimes just bites her. And then she looks like she doesn't understand why the little one runs away. It's hilarious and sad at the same time. But lucky for me, I have the cat on my lap again, and she's so nice and warm. I bundled her up in the blanket I have here, so we're both nice and warm now. Don't know yet what to do with these spots, whether I just do them in white. I think white is good for them. Like so. This needs to be a bit more burnished. But in those parts where it's pretty light, it's already hard to get the color to be even. But I do really like to use the marker base as the lightest layer, basically. But I don't have enough really light markers, and if the marker isn't really light, then it's really hard for me because the marker will automatically be the lightest shade. Like so. And then just, I mean, maybe I think that the Black Widows work better than the Artisas because, as I said, I cheat a bit with the Prismacolor here. And the Prismacolor really just blends the colors nicely. I don't think I could get this result if I just stayed with the Black Widows, even if I had a kitten. If I actually had a white in the set. I don't even know, is there a white in one of the other two? Or is the white only in the skin tones? I know that there's a white one in the light skin tone. Just a little brush here, like so. It's a bit uneven, but you can't see it on camera, and it's not too bad. Sometimes I wonder, sometimes I swear, you know, I've burnished everything nicely and it looks very even, and then I look at it again and then, you know, the white parts have come out. I wonder sometimes whether that's just, you know, waiting for me to look away. I need to sharpen the pencils. That's apparently a super fun game for the cat. So I wanted to do these bit more warm pinkish, these two. That's why I have a it has a bit of a yellow tip. This one I wanted to do with yellow. And that's the layer. Yellow I use pastel lemon. So let's do that here too. Just shadow in the yellow. And I want these in yellow. Something like so. I like how the mix between slight pink and yellow always becomes a bit orangey, but not too much, just so that it looks warm. Looks a bit like someone switched on a lamp in the flower. It does use up the pencil quite a bit though. Even this little picture. Like the light green I used. Those are the greens I used for the leaves. And I haven't used them for anything else but the leaves in this picture. Let me just quickly close the blinds. And I'm back. It's a bit hard to press because it's the end of the book. So Katze. So we're at around half an hour of this video now. I wonder how long, color and chats should, in air quotes, should be. Because I do myself, I prefer like if they're not longer than an hour, so between half an hour and an hour. Because I don't have time to watch them for longer, and of course I can just watch them in increments, but then it just gets confusing to me. Then I start a video and then forget to continue, or so I'd rather just watch it in one or two goes. And I've watched the latest Color and Chat with Natasha, the hobbyist. And she said that people had even said that her Color and Chats, which I think are around half an hour-ish or something, were too short. So, I don't know, do you have an opinion on that? I mean, for me it's also that I don't think I could do a video that was longer than an hour. I don't think I'd have the time to just sit down and film for that long, undisturbed. Just do little shadows, just because I had the purple just in my hand and thought, that might look good for shadows. I've been meaning to do a video about shadows for ages now. I really should get on that, because I think it's such an interesting topic. I mean, I'm not really knowledgeable about how or where to put lights and dark. But the color of the pencil that you use for shadows, I think that's interesting. The effects you can have with that, and this purple goes really well for the greens. This is deep purple. Okay. So as I said, these I want to have a bit darker, like in this color. These two. And this should be yellow as well inside here. Oh no, I think I didn't use marker for that because I couldn't get it to be so precise. Something like that. I hope you can see that pretty well. Well, you know, compared to the other color chat where I needed an hour or something to color one flower, we're already at 3 and 36 minutes. That's progress. I don't mind that I, color slowly. I think I've said it a couple of times that this is also the way for me to relax, to just do this very, very methodically and just go over the same place several times and just let the color gradually build. But I have so many ideas and things I want to color and things I want to try out that it's sometimes, I wouldn't say frustrating, but I get impatient sometimes. I'm an impatient person in general. Very, very impatient. There's this quote from Buffy where Anya says, like, I was patient, but then it took too long. And that's basically the motto of my life. I am patient until it takes too long. So sometimes these pictures also teach me patience and perseverance. Because if I take my time with the picture, it's always noticeable that it looks better. And that's a good lesson for me sometimes, to just be reminded that, being patient and methodical with something pays off. Because I am so impatient. And the cat has decided that now is playtime, so. I don't know what to do with these on the outside. Maybe do a Mystagus here. Maybe not quite as dark. But something like that. This week I have discovered, or was it even last week? Well, a couple of days ago, I discovered that ordering from Amazon Japan is dangerously easy. I already knew that it was super easy to order from Amazon UK, but since with UK I've, well, as of now, don't have to worry about taxes. Well, no, I mean, I order a lot from the UK, but usually what's available there is also available, like, here in Germany anyway. But Amazon Japan, man, I've always talked myself out of those Japanese coloring books. Because especially if you look on Etsy, they're very, very expensive. And I do have, I mean, I used to visit Japan at least once a year. And I've also lived there for a couple of months myself, so I have a big like connection to there. And if I didn't visit myself, I always would know someone who would, and I could ask to bring me something from there. But lately that has stopped. So I don't have an easy way to get things from there, and but now I have discovered Amazon Japan, and the thing is, I always just thought it would be too expensive. And the thing is, we have this. I think that's how it is in lots of countries too. That we have this limit that is pretty low. That if you don't exceed that limit, then you don't have to pay taxes. It's super low. It's really just for small things. And so if you buy something and you don't exceed that threshold, then it goes through customs easily. But if you buy something and it goes over that threshold, then it'll go to customs. And it's not, of course you have to pay, custom duty. That's not a problem. You can factor that in, and that's not that high. But the problem is that, for at least for me, that it's such a hassle to go to the customs office and get the thing. And so this is really prohibiting me from ordering a lot overseas. And basically Serene, the copy of Serene I bought, was the only exception to that rule. Just because I wanted it enough to take the hassle of getting the book out of customs. And almost everything that I could order via Etsy, just because of the high shipping costs, exceeds that threshold. But almost all of the books on Amazon Japan that I've seen are just below that threshold. So that's really dangerous. It might be that you see some more Japanese coloring books here now, just because I didn't know this. I had just assumed that it would be too expensive, but it actually is not. And since I have this, big connection to Japan, of course, there's so many of the coloring books that I want. It's funny because I think around this time last year I looked at all my coloring stuff and decided that I already had all the coloring books that I wanted. And I didn't get any new coloring books for quite a bit. And it's not that there's so many more coloring books released between then and now. It's just that my taste in coloring books has just broadened. Maybe because I also I can do more myself, color more, and also because I've seen people color more. I know this is what happened to me with Saga och Sägner and Fairy Tales by Emily Lydia Urberg. When it was released, it really was popular, I think, and I saw lots of people color it and color in it, and I really wasn't interested in the art style. But then I watched a lot of Katrine always coloring, and she really loved those books, and she did so many gorgeous artworks in there that I really started to like this and want this too. So it's really often, for me at least, a matter of seeing what people can do with the line art, and then you realize the potential that is in the line art. I have it the same with I can't think of the name right now. It's pretty popular too, and if I just look at the line art, then it does nothing for me. It doesn't interest me at all. But then I see it colored, and suddenly it looks so interesting and so different from just the line art version. Can't think of it right now. It's super popular too. So yeah, maybe because I now follow way more like social media than I used to. Of course, I see more finished colorings too that would then make me interested. Ah yeah, Madre Rubio. If you just look at if I just look at the line art, it's, I don't know, but if you look at the gorgeous pictures, completed pictures, then it just transforms the image, and you can suddenly see how he why he placed lines where he did. And yeah, I joined this the Facebook group for his colorings, and it's just fantastic what people can do with his pictures. And I'm so happy because for the longest time I wanted to. I never had any of his books, because the publisher Phoenix Publishing, who also did Phoenix Amulet Publishing, I think, also published Fantasia. They're a bit hard to get outside of the US. They do sell via Amazon, but they always ship from the US. So I always wanted to have Serena, because as I said, I have a thing with mermaids. And then the publisher, and I could never get it on Amazon UK. And then the publisher said that they wouldn't continue printing it, that the editions that were, or the books that were still available would be the last. So I couldn't get it. I was so sad about that. Then I think a week ago or so, well, not even a week, I don't know, they announced that now they would finally sell it as a PDF, and Mardel Rubio himself also sells a couple of his books as PDF, so I finally got Serena. So happy about that. So if you haven't, seen it yet and want to have Serena too, Phoenix Amulet Publishing, they have their own web store, and they're selling several PDFs actually, but now they're also selling Serena. And they have so many gorgeous, books that they're selling. I also got another book. For free, actually, another PDF. I think I got it because Coloring Queen wrote about that. It was it's by Hannah Lynn, and she did a podcast with what it was called, Parker Kane. The podcast is called Upbeat, and when you listen to the podcast, in the beginning they give you a code to download one of Hannah Lynn's books for free. I think it's her latest one, the steampunk one. So I'll put the link to it in the description box below. I don't know how long it'll stay valid, but it was a very nice way to get her to get the book as PDF. And I have all her books as PDF because I've read that the paper in the printed books isn't the best, and the PDF were more affordable. So now I just print a picture whenever I feel like doing a handle-in. I think we're getting there. I think we'll finish this flower and then I'll end this color and chat too, because we're almost at an hour. So as I said, I think that's a good length. I personally, as I said, I mean I make my videos the way I like to watch them myself, because that's I think that makes sense. And I like to watch color and chats this length. And also, as I said, I don't think I could record a video for longer. I'm always so impressed by all of you that do those really long, like 2.5 hour videos. I mean, to be fair, in that time you can really, color a picture. So if someone wants to watch to learn how to color, that makes a lot of sense to do it like that. I suppose I should give a verdict about the pencils. I really don't know. They're neither extremely good nor bad. I think they just don't quite fit with the way I like to color. I think that is the main problem I have with them. I think if your style is different than mine, then you might enjoy them very much. I suppose that this is super unhelpful for everybody who wants to decide on whether to, actually get them or not. But I mean, in the case of the Black Widows, as I've said before, you can just get one small set. And if you don't like them, you're not out of much money. But if you do like them, you can just get the other 2 sets, or 4 if you now include the skin tone sets, and you don't have any duplicates. And I think that's such a clever way. Really like this, the way they sell it like that. Like so, and now I just burnish it with the white. It's not perfect, it does get a bit streaky. But you can't see it on camera and it's very, very faint. Don't think you can see it even, you know, in person, if you don't know. Okay, just need to finish up the middle. I'm just pressing really hard here, just not layering much now. Have a bit more darker color, but I think I'm calling this finished. I think I'll give it a bit more shadows with the petals, but that'll be for later. So for now, thank you for staying with me for all of the color enchant. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye! Yeah, they started biting each other, and my poor little one had to flee. Well, she just couldn't. She keeps like that. No, you can't see anything. She refuses to move out of the picture.